Hey, big games ahead, second leg against Monaco, time to turn that fourth deficit around. Then it's Freiburg and a third versus fourth Bundesliga clash. Big stakes, no room for error. Let's see what we're made of.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 29 of Red Bull KloppBot here on Sean Does FM with RB Leipzig. I hope you're doing well and coming up today. Going to finish off the quarterfinals of the Europa League, hopefully overturn a 3-4 deficit at home against Monaco before we take on Freiburg in a third versus fourth clash in the Bundesliga with only 5 games left in that season. So if you're looking for those 2 games coming up in today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, all that good helpful YouTube stuff. But yesterday played the first leg of this tie where we did make some tactical changes off the back of that, mainly because our defence has been pretty woeful so far. Did fix it up for that second game and it worked as we took on Stuttgart in the Bundesliga. So if you missed that one, I'll leave a link to it over in the top right corner. Now it's time for us to get stuck in here to the second leg. As I said, 3-4 down after we took the lead 3 different times in that game yesterday and blew it each and every time. So that was a frustrating result, but to be fair, still well and truly in this game going back to Germany as we do take on Monaco. If we do find a way to turn this around, we'll then take on the winner of Sevilla and Stuttgart. Hopefully Stuttgart, because we beat them as well in yesterday's episode, and hopefully a slight tweak to the tactic that we're going to do here as we take on Monaco might pay off in the second leg. The other side of the draw does look like Chelsea. They'll be going through 3-1 in front against Lazio, and the other Red Bull club in Salzburg are currently a goal down as they take on Atalanta. So certainly 2 ties there that are still quite even. I'd say the 2 ties involving the Red Bull clubs, Chelsea and Sevilla, probably should be making their way through to the semi-finals though. So that's what things look like going into the second leg of these quarterfinals. A couple of injuries that we're dealing with that did pop up in those games that we had during yesterday's episode. Christoph Baumgartner, twisted ankle, out still for 10 days to 3 weeks. So probably going to miss a large majority of the remainder of the season here at Leipzig. And also Stefan Bajetic, a gash lower leg, out for 1 to 2 more days. So a couple of injuries we are dealing with, to be fair. Got extra depth there in the balling midfield role with someone like Batista Mendy, but also because we only scored the 1 goal in that Stuttgart game second up yesterday, it did help our defence, but we've gone back instead of switching to an advanced playmaker to a shadow striker. We'll just see if that maybe increases our goal scoring like was the case before we made those changes. But thankfully, got a pretty strong team available to pick from for this game, albeit you'll notice a lot of them are on a heavy workload. Probably you have to deal with that at some stage soon, but hopefully it'll be off the back of these 2 games that we do play in today's episode, and we can turn around that 1 goal deficit and make our way through to the Europa League semis. And here are the team sheets for the second leg here of this Europa League clash. We'll just turn on the music here as well, because Europa League anthem and all that's so superior. The Champions League one, just 1 change to our usual best 11, Ben Seguir in the camera. You could also argue that, of course, we've got Galaxy in goal, but we all know what happened in the first league yesterday. Van der Voort might be on his way to Brentford off the back of that. Monaco going with the exact same formation as they did in the first league, but hopefully at the Red Bull Arena we can find a way to turn this around and get our goal scoring touch back after those changes did just nullify a little bit in that Stuttgart game. Hopefully going back to a shadow striker works here in this home league, and we can make our way through to the Europa League semis. And just past the 10-minute mark, first highlight of this game. It's a throw in here to Monaco, who are in the All Black. We try and put some good pressure on them up front, but unfortunately they play that one back to their goalkeeper and just keep hold of the ball. But to be fair, currently are struggling to make their way out of their half, and good little interception that from Osterwalder, who get back on the ball and play it forward to Talisman. No, cuts inside, goes back there to Almas, who floats that one far post, and Benjamin Sesko picks up his 30th goal of the season, which I'm pretty sure now is a record breaker in terms of since this game started in terms of goals in the season for RB Leipzig. So he certainly has been really important for us here at the club, of course. And behind that, not too much depth. Silva and Paulson probably going to be leaving in the upcoming transfer window at the end of the season. But thankfully, we equalise this tie nice and early in the second leg. And unfortunately, nothing at all happening off the back of that first highlight and goal so far in this game. We make our way into 1 minute at a time, and it's 1-0 on the day, but 4 all on aggregate again. The opposition not getting too many chances though, so maybe those changes we made going to that second game yesterday are working, but still just doesn't quite feel like we're hitting our stride in terms of attack like we were before we made those changes, even with that shadow striker in Benzema, but relatively happy with that first half. Still got 45 minutes to grab a winner and make those Europa League semis.
Yeah.
Albeit an early hiccup here in the second half, just 2 minutes in, and Benjamin Enriques has been forced from the field with a red injury. Klosterman will come on for him. And going forward a couple of minutes off the back of that injury and forced sub, we do now have a throw in here inside of the final third, knocking about here down our right-hand side. Openda finds Benzema, who puts it away in the top left corner, maybe. That's that shadow striker role coming back and working for us here at RB Leipzig. Be fair, it wasn't away for too long, just one game, but there's a goal to put us back in front in this tie. Hopefully we stay there, unlike all the times that it wasn't the case during yesterday's episode, but that's a really good finish there from Benzema, and we take a 1-goal lead with 35 minutes left. And we go for just past the hour mark now for the next highlight in this game. It's a free kick here for Monaco, play it forward quite quickly there to Kefren Turam. Now Enrique will square that one for Ilikina, I believe that name is. It's an absolute mouthful. I don't like him either way, because their first real attack of the game, and they put that one past Galaxy, so I'm not too sure what's not working here with our defence at RB Leipzig. Made a couple of changes off the back of the first leg, and we're still conceding goals. To be fair, it's taken a wee while today, but back to all square just past the hour mark. We'll just see if that indeed was their first shot on target. Indeed it was, but we'll take off Talis Magno here on a 6.5 for Ojlago off the back of Monaco levelling things back up. And we don't have to wait too long off the back of that equaliser to have a highlight here, but it is Monaco trying to make their way out from the back. Connell pumped that one deep, thankfully straight to Klosterman, albeit for some reason heads it back there to a Monaco player, but Almas thankfully, good tackle to get that ball back for us, and Klosterman is back on the pill, plays that one back to Orban, who takes his time before going back out there to Klosterman down our right-hand side, inside there for the homegrown lad in Martel Almas, and a fair bit of space there down our left-hand side, plays it out there to Osterwalder before getting it back. What will he do here? Martel up to Benzema, will get it back. Some space now out right, Klosterman, him and Martel knocking it about quite regularly, and we find Openda, who beats their corner from a pretty tight angle. A bit surprised that that one has found its way into the back of net, but thankfully not all square for too long on aggregate. We now make it 3-1 and 6-5 overall, so our goal scoring touch is definitely back in this game. We just waited there till Openda found some space down our right-hand side, and thankfully he put that one away from a tight angle. Off the back of that, though, he's dropped down to a red heart. Nusa can come on for him. This is our last stoppage, but no poor ratings elsewhere out there, so I think actually we might just do that for the remainder of this game. If there's no need to make a sub in a big game, probably a good idea not to make one at all as we get back in front, 6-5 on aggregate. And pretty sure off the back of that goal to put us back in front, there's a goal kick here to Monaco. They pump that one deep. Martel wins in there, then Cisco does, albeit then Benzema gives it away, but thankfully get it back pretty shortly after as Monaco try and clear their lines. And back on the attack here as we spray that one out to Nusa down our right-hand side, gets it back from Klosterman there and makes his way into the final third. Floats this one far post for Cisco, who puts himself on a hat-trick. That makes it 4-1 with only 17 minutes left. You'd like to think that's a goal will send us through to the semi-finals of the Europa League. Thankfully today our defence has been better, just that one chance, which unfortunately they did take, but for the most part we've been well and truly on the front foot here, and we finally grab a cushion goal lead. And we just made way into the last 10 minutes of this game, a throw for us here inside the final field, one more goal, and surely that puts this tighter bet, albeit Osterwald there does give the ball away. Good work there from Castello, but then his pass gets intercepted, so Monaco might get a chance here on the counter-attack. Zakaria plays that forward to Minamino. Now Golovin, he takes the ball on orange injury, but he finds Banderson, who plays a ball in there, and somehow it falls to George, who picks up a double just like Cisco. He gets himself on a hat-trick. Off the back of that, we will just start to time waste a little bit, slow down the passing directness, and also be a bit more disciplined, slow the pace down as well in terms of goalkeeper distribution, because that's pretty frustrating. They haven't done too much in terms of attack in this game, but still, our defence is incredibly leaky, so maybe haven't quite fixed those defensive issues just yet here at RB Leipzig. They grab a goal back here, Monaco, and of course, that means the gap's down to 1 goal on aggregate, so hopefully they don't do anything in the last 8 or so minutes of this game. You can see stats-wise, we've well and truly been on the front foot, albeit XG, theirs is ridiculously high, not too sure how that's worked out. We get a late chance to make our way into 6 minutes of added time. We do make our way now quite deep into that added time, and thankfully, we just do enough to make our way through to the semi-finals of the Europa League. A 4-2 win does mean we come from behind and go through 7-6 on aggregate. A slightly better defensive performance for us there in that league, and thankfully we got back in our goal scoring touch, unlike that Stuttgart game yesterday where we only scored the one goal. But let's go forward now and see what's happened in the other games, because of course we are due to take on the winner of that Sevilla versus Stuttgart tie. Would actually quite like Stuttgart, but unfortunately we won't get them. Sevilla hold on off the back of a 0-0 draw. Red Bull Salzburg go through off the back of a 3-1 second league win. They just do enough there like we did to get past Atalanta, and Lazio 3-0 over Chelsea, so that could actually help our chances here of picking up the Europa League, especially if we can get past Sevilla. You'd like to think Lazio, Red Bull Salzburg actually might be a little bit of a slight step down, albeit Salzburg have actually been the best Red Bull club so far in the save, but a bit of an upset there. Chelsea, they get knocked out, but we've got Sevilla to look forward to in the semi-final. So we come from behind there, thankfully make up for that slightly messy performance yesterday in Monaco and go through over them by just a single goal into the semi-finals there of the Europa League. There's the draw that we'll show you guys now. We take on Sevilla and Salzburg will take on Lazio. The first leg of that comes only a couple of weeks' time, so it does mean just 2 Bundesliga games in between now and them, and one of them is the one that we're about to play against Freiburg. Off the back of that, Nuremberg should be a team that we can beat, especially with that one being at home. Of late in the Bundesliga, we've struggled away from home. Hopefully that won't be the case in this game that we are about to play, but also an injury update as well. Of course, Enrique's forced from the field quite early in that second half, and he is well and truly gone for the rest of the season. Might also miss a little bit of the start of the next one, a hip injury. He is out for 2 to 3 months. We'll see what we do with Enrique's going to the start of next season, because he is German and quite handy, but maybe you can find someone with a little bit of potential. But to be fair, he's probably likely to stay, considering that he is actually a current first choice player. But he's gone for the rest of the season. Thankfully, got Klosterman and Sakay. I've been calling him Sakay so far in the save. The G kind of looked like a Q on game. I'll blame that. Doesn't truly, but we'll just blame that anyway. But Sakay, he'll be the backup now to Klosterman for the remainder of the season in terms of a bench option. But we're about to take on Freiburg here. Big clash in the Bundesliga. These guys just below us, as you can see there from that table. 2 points. If we can pick up a win over these guys, though, we would stretch our gap above those teams chasing us for that third spot in the Bundesliga. And that is the last official Champions League qualifying one, that fourth one. It could go to someone else, depending on who picks up the DFB Pokal, the semi-finals of which are about to take place. We'll just go over and check who's in that, because we definitely aren't getting knocked out in the second round. Dortmund take on Kaiserslautern, probably quite happy with that, because if Dortmund pick it up, they're already pretty much locked in for the Champions League next season. That won't change anything. Hoffenheim versus Bayer Leverkusen, though, that could just change things for the team that does finish fourth. So hopefully Dortmund does pick that up if we drop down into fourth position, but hopefully that won't be needed. We can pick up a win here over Freiburg and hopefully go a long way to locking up that third spot with only 4 games left in the season, because in behind Freiburg, it is quite tight all the way down to 9th and FC Cologne. But their run home here, Freiburg, is quite tough off the back of us. They've got Bayern away, Dortmund away, Hoffenheim at home. Hamburg should be a little bit easier, but they take on the champions as well as the 2 teams just above them on the table. So hopefully we don't give them any 3 points here, even though this one is away from home. Their recent form, a little bit scratchy. You've lost to Bayer Leverkusen as well as Cologne, and also dropped points to Union Berlin and Werder Bremen. So based on that form, really should be getting the job done over this team, albeit off the back of quite a busy schedule recently with the Europa League. We'll see how our boys do get on here away from home. Their manager Stefan Little, who apparently does like a narrow 4-4-2. Their captain is Matthias Ginter, the centre-back come right-back. Very good player, but these days is 33 years old, but does still look pretty darn handy. Their vice-captain, Vincenzo Grifo from Italy, central attacking midfielder come winger, and he does also look very good, at least in terms of technicals and mentals. Those physicals are going down a little bit, but still he's doing pretty well over there, is Vincenzo Grifo. But their key player is their goalkeeper, the young 24-year-old there in Noah Atubolu, who has 3-star current ability, 3.5-star potential, and does look decent. But to be fair, tribute-wise, I'd actually say the captain and vice-captain might actually look a little bit better. But definitely a handy team we're taking on here in Freiburg. Hopefully, can at the very least make sure they don't beat us. Otherwise, we'll drop into that 4th spot and that could make things interesting for our run home, especially with a Europa League semi-final added to the mix. As you saw before, we've got Nuremberg next up. That should be a win. Also got Hertha Berlin off the back of the second leg of that Europa League semi, so 2 games that really we should be winning. The other 2, though, could be tricky because they're both away from home. Eintracht Frankfurt and Bayer Leverkusen. Did beat Bayer Leverkusen in our first game here, but hopefully we can lock up some Champions League football next season before we get to that final game of the Bundesliga, and if that doesn't work out, hopefully as well give ourselves a chance of making it with a win as well in the Europa League. But before then, got to get past Sevilla come the start of next week before we get stuck into this big 3rd versus 4th clash in the Bundesliga. It's our first time to Freiburg, so it's time for the KloppBot's hotspots. And here's what the KloppBot's cooked up for us here in Freiburg. It's a 7-hour trip from Leipzig, so definitely need somewhere to stay here when we're in Freiburg. And the KloppBot's picked out here the Hotel Oberkirch, situated in Freiburg's Old Town. This hotel offers traditional interiors decorated in warm tones with floral wallpapers, sash windows, and glittering chandeliers. Didn't realise the holiday KloppBot was such an architect nerd, but its central location provides easy access to local attractions, making it an ideal base for the team. Let's go check out what this hotel looks like. And there's the outside of it. I think that one on the left there in the red, sort of crimson, might be the hotel, and the one there in the peach yellow, that might be the restaurant, which we'll definitely go check out. We'll just go down here and see what's on this website in terms of photos. There you can see the asparagus, aka the raw vegetable, will be making its way onto the menu from the 15th of April. So I'm not too sure if this website's been updated recently or the Germans just really like their asparagus, because that's certainly some pre-order window there for a plate of asparagus and some other stuffed potatoes and whatnot. But there's the website. There's some pages here for the website, for the hotel, and some other stuff that you can see here through these photos. It looks decent enough. Apparently the location is quite good. I think we're going to actually check out here how good this restaurant looks. Also can check out the rooms. Maybe that's what we should do first. Let's just see where this takes us. If we can actually see the inside of the hotel a bit more. There's what it looks like. It's not a 5-star hotel looking type of place, but it does look quite cozy and quite decent. Even a bottle of booze inside the room. I can definitely deal with that, so it's not a bad place to stay here right in the heart of Freiburg. You can see there a couple of different room types, and going down further even more, I think we definitely need the exclusive experience being the manager, but that's what they're offering there in terms of the hotel. But quick look at the restaurant, because food porn's always good. Let's just see what's going on here in terms of the restaurant in our hotel. It does look quite nice. At least those plates, they do look a little bit more interesting than the ones with the asparagus that they were hyping up quite a bit. So yeah, this will be a decent place for us to stay here, I think. We actually see the menus if I click on this item. As the food gets a little bit more attractive looking as we go deeper on this website, going down further, here's what they've got there. Some decent options. Just trying to look for the meat here. Is the vegetarian restaurant? No, it's got bacon there on their seasonal menu, so thankfully there's some meat there for a good Kiwi lad like myself. I did think it would be a bit weird if a German place didn't have meat, because they quite like schnitzel and stuff like that. But there's where we're staying at the Oberkirch Hotel. Now we'll get this second activity out of the way nice and early, because the KloppBot again has sent us to do Blimmin Archery. I'm not too sure if it's going to be too different to what we did a couple of days ago in a different city. But yeah, practice our skills, emphasize our focus, precision, mutual support and concentration, all that blah blah stuff the KloppBot has come up with. Here's the website. It looks very similar to what we did a couple of days ago, and even then, this was the second time I asked him to come up with something for Freiburg, because the first time he sent us on another bloomin' scavenger hunt. So he is starting to go through his ideas quite a few times now here with these trips away that we are doing. But there's the archery. I'm sure it's going to be quite similar to what we did last time. Thankfully, instead though of doing a scavenger hunt, instead we're going to do some mountain biking in the Black Forest, explore its scenic trails, offering routes suitable for various skill levels. This activity promotes teamwork and provides an adventurous way to experience the region's natural beauty. We'll find this article here, because honestly, I did struggle to find too many articles in terms of mountain biking in the Black Forest. There's one of the pictures. It's relatively picturesque, honestly. Going down a bit further, we'll get past all the blah blah here. There's a map of what it actually looks like in terms of the Black Forest itself. No doubt Jürgen should be pretty familiar with this area of Germany. There's what it looks like in the winter. Thankfully, I think we're close to the summer here when we're doing this game where we take on Freiburg, and that's really about it here in terms of the pictures. There's a couple of signs, but yeah, not too much in terms of pictures, unfortunately, for the cycling in the Black Forest, but we'll do that, just loosen the legs before this Freiburg game. And to round things off, we're going to go to an animal park. Did one of these back in Japan, but this time going to the Mundenhof. This is one of Germany's largest animal enclosures, housing a variety of domestic and exotic animals. This park offers spacious grounds ideal for leisurely walks and team relaxation. So it's just a chance for us here to check out some animals and get ourselves prepared for this upcoming big clash in the Bundesliga. There's the website. There's a cute little meerkat there, I think it is, on the main banner. Going down through there, they've got animal enclosures apparently for llamas, I believe that is. You can visit there, you can donate. We're definitely not going to do that because our finances currently at RB Leipzig actually are in the negative, which is somehow having no doubt they'll go back up off the back of the end of the actual season. Going down further, animal burgers, we probably won't click on that because that could be quite interesting. And Kontiki and gastronomy, some interesting stuff going on here that we probably don't want to check out. There's their social media. You've got llamas, you've got, I think those are bulls or buffaloes, and there's all sorts going on there. Honestly, looks like an absolute cluster of different animals. It looks like there's some goats on the bottom, goats or dogs on top, and a casual bull / buffalo on the sides. An interesting place, this one, going over a bit more. They've got horses, they've got whatever that is. I think that's a monkey, now that I've seen it from the right angle. So yeah, there's a bit going on there in terms of animals, and we can walk around and check that out. So that's what we're going to be doing there in Freiburg, off the back of the archery yet again, before we play this big clash in the Bundesliga, 3rd versus 4th. And here are the team sheets for the second game in today's episode. First up, the home team in Freiburg. They are going with a 4-4-2 diamond there, indeed, following what their manager does usually do in terms of us. Just one change from the team we put out for that second leg of the Europa League quarters. We've got Klosterman at right back with that injury to Onrex, and Sakai makes his way onto that slightly shortened bench. But as you can see from the table, pick up 3 points here and should go a long way to locking up one of those Champions League qualifying spots in the Bundesliga. And just short of the 15-minute mark, first highlight of this game does have Stuttgart on the attack, but thankfully we get an interception there and have a chance to make our way out from the back. Castello there finds Osterwalde, who cuts inside briefly, finds Spencer Gear, who plays that for Tesisco. Now Pender down our right-hand side, let's see what he can do. Pulls that one back there to Klosterman, coming in, of course, for this game. Switches that one to Osterwalde, now to Algif Almas. Long-range effort looking for the top right corner, but unfortunately that one's just off target, still scoreless. And going for about 10 minutes of their opening highlight now thrown here for Stuttgart. And they're going to go with a long one as well, try and float this one into the mix. But thankfully, Klosterman can head that one away, albeit roll there. Does get on the attack, but Galaxy still keeping a spot in goal. Not done too bad a job yet, especially in terms of rating compared to what Van der Voort put out first up in yesterday's episode. And he deals with that danger from the corner as well. So that stops that highlight chance now for both teams just past halfway through the first half. But now it looks like Stuttgart might be starting to get on the front foot. In fact, Freiburg, not Stuttgart, getting blooming confused with these back-to-back recordings. But they square that ball there for Glypho, who will put that one away and make it 1-0. We are still very leaky defensively here at RB Leipzig, and it continues here. So not really too sure what we should be doing with our defence. It worked well in that Stuttgart game yesterday, but it's starting to go to shreds here as we concede from one of the first shots that Freiburg get on target in this game, and they take a 1-0 lead. And we're just going to go into the last 10 minutes here of this first half, and we're on the attack here inside the Freiburg half. And we just play that one in there to Castello. Hopefully can equalise quite quickly, otherwise might need to make some changes here at halftime. Both our players defensively down the right-hand side not doing too well, including Klosterman on that yellow card. Plays that one back there for Martel. Frankly, get that ball back there for Pender, who takes on the shot, but unfortunately Fene took deflection and goes straight into the path of the goalkeeper. So we're still 1-0 down, and now I've got to throw in on the other side of the field. Benziger tries to cut inside, can't quite let off a shot there, and thankfully get that ball back there through Osterwalde from the clearance. Now Klosterman, I think he was looking there for that Pender run, but he might have been offside initially. Squares it when he gets it back there for Benziger, whose shot gets blocked, and then a long range effort. It comes off the ankles of the goalkeeper. If that was Van der Voort, it probably is a goal for them, but unfortunately not for us. Nothing doing from the subsequent corner, despite the fact there was a little bit of aerial ping pong. We make our way the last 5 minutes of this first half well and truly on the front foot yet again in terms of shots and shots on target. The XG not that heavily in our favour. So we've sort of gone backwards there a little bit, feels like, with these changes from the KloppBot. Definitely getting more chances than the opposition, just not as high XG. We'll make those changes right back. Sakai can come on and Colwell for a struggling Orban, but not too happy with that first half in terms of the scoreline. Performance-wise, not too bad, but we're 1-0 behind. And just shy of 10 minutes into the second half, get the first highlight of it. Unfortunately, looking for someone there down our left-hand side, but that pass gets blocked. But thankfully, Freiburg, they clear that one away, and Costello has plenty of time to tidy things up. Play this forward nicely, and eventually do find Benjamin Sesko. Was he onside, though? That did look a little bit too good to be true. We'll see if the players are celebrating in the background. Hard to tell because the VAR screen is blocking it, but unfortunately, he was indeed offside, and we are still a goal behind. Some good passing. Maybe Ben again there to try that pass from the first touch. By the stage he released it, Sesko was well and truly offside. We are still 1-0 down, and now Ben Zagira as well as Ustavel go down to red hot. So it's time for some subs here. We'll bring on Mariba in the cam role. He's going to fill that role while we've got no Baumgart, and also Raum. He can come on at left back. Sesko struggling on a 6.5, but not too sure we want to take him off until he's well and truly knackered as we go searching for that equaliser. And only a few minutes on from those subs that we did, make a good tackle from us there, and we get the ball back through Raum down our left-hand side, some fresh legs. He now finds Talas Magno, who makes his way right towards the byline. Good square, that one for LG Almas, but unfortunately, I thought that one was touched from the goalkeeper, but maybe that came off the post. We go close, but still, we're a goal down. And with our final sub, got quite a few players here down to red hearts. I think we'll take off Almas in midfield, because honestly, the replacements for Sesko aren't too great. Now, Jada is the obvious replacement, or maybe someone like Mendy if Martel can do a job in midfield. But I actually think Odrago could be capable in central attacking midfield. Mariba can go back to a more familiar box-to-box role, so we'll try that with our final sub. Still a goal down. And only a few minutes on from that final sub, now there's a corner here in our favour. Martel gets his head on the end of that one, but unfortunately it goes high and wide. We're definitely creating the chances to equalise in this game, but unfortunately it hasn't quite happened yet. About to make our way to the last 20 minutes. There's a goal kick there to Freiburg. They pump that one deep. Unfortunately, actually get that ball back. Ginter is now on the ball, plays that to Sadia. Now Eggerstein and Ginter is back on the ball. They're taking their time, which is a bit concerning, because usually that means this highlight might end up not good for us if they can find some space. Good ticker there from Mariba, but unfortunately, they get that ball back. Ginter just inches his way into our half. Some nice short passing here, and Samir Holler is left in a ton of space and chips that one over Galaxy. We've used all our subs. This could be a big loss away from home here in the race for a Champions League qualifying spot in the Bundesliga. For some reason, our defenders there both get sucked, and it's Martel and Costello. So Costello there really should be staying back. For some reason he doesn't, and that leaves a big old hole which Holler can go through and put that one past Galaxy. So that's a big goal there for Freiburg. Off the back of that, we might just up the tempo and see if that helps us out. That's one of the things the KloppBot recommended off the back of that Monaco loss. Let's see if that works as well as a good old berate. Off the back of that, a corner, but of course nothing happened from one of these earlier. Let's hope this time it does. Drago gets taken out there off the ball, but David Raum with a first-time finish puts that one past Adebolo in goal, and that should be an equaliser. We'll just wait here for a VAR check, because for some reason they're doing one, but thankfully the goal does stand, and we get this back to 2-1. So well and truly back in this one, round there with the shot. Maybe someone was impeding with the goalkeeper, but thankfully they did stay onside, and we're back in this game. Only 2-1 down with 15 minutes left. In fact, as we try and wrap things up, here's a throw in here for Freiburg, and good work there from Openda to win that ball back from us. Sesko shuffles it on there for Talas Magno, back out there to Sakai, and a fair bit of space. Unfortunately, though, just tries to hop there over a defender, loses the ball, but then Martel just does well enough there to get that one back for us. Now it's Magno who threads it through for Openda, and he puts it past their goalkeeper there from a tight angle, a quick fire double since going to the higher tempo, and it's 2-2, and hopefully the momentum might be on our side here to try and grab a win. It's taken us a fair while here to warm up in this game, but for some reason going to the higher tempo actually is helping us create better chances than that notch down one was. Not too sure how that's worked out, but well and truly back in this game. From 2-0 down, we make it 2-2. And we just make our way into the last 5 minutes of this game. No idea how we're not winning this one. They've only had 4 shots overall and 3 on target compared to our 22 and 12. But we make our way now deep into 5 minutes of added time, it's going to be a draw, which will take having gone 2-0 down with only 20 or so minutes left. But it's a bit frustrating how we're not winning that game, just struggling currently away from home. Doesn't seem to really matter what we're doing in terms of tactical switches, just a bit leaky with our defence away from home. Also at home, of course, as you saw in the second leg of that Europa League quarter against Monaco. But thankfully, it's not a loss. It shouldn't be disastrous for our chances of securing one of those top 3 spots in the Bundesliga. Probably now third, because it's going to be a bit of a struggle to catch up with Dortmund. But a couple of drop points there away from home, but obviously being 2-0 down, I think we just take that result and go back to Leipzig, hopefully get back on track when we take on Nuremberg in a week's time. But it does keep us in third, 2 points above Freiburg, 4 points above Eintracht Frankfurt, albeit it depends what Stuttgart do. But we should be okay, because just checking it out, I think they take on Bayern, so hopefully still going to be 4 points clear of the teams in those Europa League spots. So going to a higher tempo there late did help us come from behind and pick up a draw at Freiburg. And thankfully, as expected, Bayern Munich, the champions, they pick up a win away from home over Stuttgart. So the situation is still the same, 4 points clear of Eintracht Frankfurt, 2 clear of Freiburg, with only 4 games left in our season. 2 of them, though, against those teams currently in other European qualifying spots. Those could be quite interesting games alongside that Europa League semi-final, which we'll come back for at the start of next week. But you'd think, with that gap, we should keep ourselves in a Champions League qualifying spot. Fingers crossed, especially with our attacking output, just our defence, which continues to be a bit of a concern here at RB Leipzig. But that will do it for today's episode. If you enjoyed that one, making our way through the Europa League semis, then a few drop points away from home in the Bundesliga, but thankfully keep ourselves in third spot, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. As I said, we'll come back start of next week. I think we'll just go straight forward to that Europa League semi. Eintracht Frankfurt in the middle of that could be quite a big game, but I'll try and get through the remainder of this season in a couple of episodes. So I think we'll just come back and play both legs of that Europa League semi and see what happens in that big Bundesliga game in between those 2 games that we will play in that episode. So until the start of next week, the Europa League semi, if we can get past Sevilla, hopefully got a good chance of winning it outright. But until then, thank you very much for watching, keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.